Happy Monday, and welcome here to another edition of Husker Online Headlines. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, 24 days from kickoff. Can you believe that?
It's great. It's a huge game. I don't know. I think it's added some life to me in August that we're staring down the barrel of a monster game at Arrowhead.
I mean, because we get through this week, a week from Monday, we're basically 2 weeks from kickoff. That's crazy, but we got an open practice. We're going to get all into that on Saturday. I just got back from Kearney. I had a buzz out of practice on Sunday morning. And
what did you have to do?
Had a book signing at the
Most people on this planet don't have to buzz out of town to go to a book signing of their own.
At the Sequel Bookshop in Kearney, our first one, we had a great showing. A lot of listeners.
Hey,
to the HuskerOnline show.
Where is that in Kearney?
In the Hilltop Mall.
Hilltop Mall. So you were there. Signing books.
They almost sold. There was only one book left when I left.
Good.
So they sold
Should've
all their
bought
books.
that one.
I should have bought the last one so I could call it a sellout.
Yeah, I do get people ask me. Of course, they always ask me if I got one. I'm like, I'm not going to give you a free book.
There's a lot of cheap. Look at Kid and Carly there. They went down with me. You got your glasses on.
Yeah, I got stuff on my screen. Oh yeah, that's a good photo.
But we stayed down in Kearney. Lisa,
you almost look normal in that photo.
We stayed down in Kearney. They did the water park last night, and buzzed back. Let me tell you, I-80.
Wait a second. You went to it. That was last night. You went to
the water park was last night.
Was it warm enough?
Indoors.
Oh, indoors. I was going to say
water slides and the whole night. We did go-karts at the go-kart place there.
Did they get in a go-kart?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you get in a go-kart?
Yes. Luckily, it was only my family on the track. I mean, it'd be kind of hairy if there would be like 20 people driving at once on those deals. But went out to Kearney, met a lot of great listeners and viewers of our shows out there. It's amazing the reach we get, especially out in central Nebraska.
Out there. Yeah.
Don't call it Western Nebraska.
No, it's really not. Because it's not Western Nebraska.
Doug Duda will come over here and kick your what.
Doug Duda, the radio man in Kearney.
But back and now back to work. We'll have more practice this week. Let's get into the headlines.
Okay.
First and foremost, headline number one, it's not hype. Dylan Raiola now has more weapons at his disposal, and we got to see it firsthand on Saturday night. We got to see the running backs, obviously, Emmett Johnson, but Mekhi Nelson flashed, Isaiah Mosey flashed, but the receivers, even without Dane Key, who on paper is the most experienced receiver on this roster, this group of receivers led by Ja'Cory Barney, Cortez Mills, Isaiah Hunter, Quinn Clark, Janiram Bonner, Keelan Smith. God. I mean, you go down the line. I mean, think back to Matt Rule's first year, and I don't want to name the names, but think about the receivers they played Matt Rule's first year. And think about
just name three of them.
Well, I mean, your starters were like John Bullock, Billy Kemp,
Alex Bullock,
Alex Bullock, Billy Kemp, and I'm trying to think who. You had Isaiah Garcia Castaneda on the team back then.
You're right. No, you're right.
They were. I mean, they were limited when you think back to what it is now.
It's okay that you name those guys. Those were decent players. I mean, if you just look at it in terms of size now, I mean, the size is where it should be. I'm not going to get on this pedestal. I'm not. But now it looks like it should. I'd always say that. But now you trot out guys, even the guys you don't think as big guys, like Dane Key, 6'2", Hunter 6. They list Isaiah Hunter at 6'1". He doesn't look quite that tall. Then they parade those guys out there, Quinn Clark and Keelan Smith and Jeremiah Jones. It's like a basketball team, but those guys can play. That's why last week when it really stopped me in my tracks when Dana Holgerson was going through the receivers and he says, well, we know Dane Key's going to be a starter. We know Ja'Cory Barney's going to be a starter. Isaiah Hunter, he showed up today, but he's getting pushed by Quinn Clark and Keelan Smith. I was like, whoa, okay. So you couldn't say Hunter's a starter, but I will say this about Hunter and Isaiah Hunter. He got serious speed. I mean, I thought he looked really good in that scrimmage. Or not scrimmage. It was just a practice.
The 11-on-11 period.
Yeah.
And the 7-on-7s. And, you saw Cortez Mills open it up for a deep ball, 40-yard play.
He can play.
He had a drop early, but I'm not going to get too caught up in that kind of stuff. I mean, he looked the part. Keelan Smith's physical.
Oh,
Quinn Clark's big, and I forgot Jeremiah Jones.
Yeah, you love Jeremiah Jones.
Well, the people on our board did. The people on Twitter. I mean, that was a guy that immediately just eyeball tests looks the part.
Yeah, and we were at camps. That's the value of us going to those players' camps in June when he arrived. Remember, he didn't arrive. I don't think he got here till June.
He was like a late May arrival when they
okay,
reported.
Late May.
Yeah.
So we got to look at him, and we were both like, well, that's Jeremiah Jones.
Looked like a D end.
Yeah. Now they list him at 6'4". He looks taller than that. And Holgerson brought him up when I talked to Holgerson in June that he spent time with Jeremiah. I mean, I don't know if he can get ready. I don't know if they have to have him ready, but it'll probably be pretty close. Yeah, they're in good shape in that room.
Dyke Hill Shorts came from Kentucky, where he's from, and it's interesting. I don't even know if the Wildcats were on him in recruiting.
Shorts didn't know who he was.
And he was the #1 player in Kentucky.
That's kind of surprised me.
But a lot of people projected him at other positions.
That's probably it.
And he could play receiver, linebacker, safety. I mean, he could play a lot of spots.
So, yeah, Dylan. Oh, then we should say something. I think Emmett looks really good. Like
live legs.
Yeah, Emmett. I just wonder what they can get out of him. It looks like he's capable of a lot to me. He's rounded into form. He's bigger, more physical now. Looks fast.
Makai Nelson, though, you could see what they were talking about. His first looks, there was some move there. You're like, okay, this is what Dana was talking about right here. And, I thought Isaiah Mosey, if you could find a way to use him as like a third down type back as a receiver, because he's a very good receiver playing running back now.
He's going to have to play.
But all three of those guys, from what we saw, it's hard to put
all three of those guys. What
are going to play?
Which position?
Running back.
Oh, running back, not tight end. Running back.
Running back. Yeah, and it's hard to put Quentin Ives in the conversation.
Quentin Ives. So he was riding a stationary bike on the sideline. I feel for him. I mean, just think about what he must be going through his head. This was going to be a gigantic August for him, this proving ground that I'm number 2. I'm going to be the man, and number 2 at Nebraska or number 2 anywhere, you're going to be heavily involved. Then first practice, he comes up with a hamstring injury and he's still sitting there on a bike. 6th practice. It's got to be really hard for him because now he's in kind of a pickle because those, how the hamstrings are, you can't really rush back, but you want to rush back. So and then when you come back, do you have some trepidation? You know what I mean?
I just don't think he brings the burst that those other 2 guys bring. I just like what Nelson and I like what Mosey have. We've watched a lot of running backs at Nebraska over the years, and like Brandon Jackson, I watched him for 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, he's good. And that's how I felt watching those guys. Okay, these guys can help Nebraska.
Got to see him a little bit more against live tackling.
True, and how they hold up with contact in their body. And
right.
But Ives has been here a long time now.
Now, I'll tell you this about Makai Nelson. What I've heard about him is he will throw himself into contact, and he's got burst. He's got speed. He's got burst and speed. Again, this is probably the 4th time I've said it. I think Nelson is the best pure runner other than Emmett. Just pure runner. Not taking into account everything else the running back has to do. Just running the ball. Makai's really good. He's got to get that other stuff probably. Mosey, it's just so much to ask of him. That's my only hesitancy with Mosey. He wasn't a running back in high school. He played some running back, but he was a receiver. Played running back at a high level. He averaged a huge number when he did play running back, yards per carry. But he's just kind of lightly tested. Sean, how's he going to look against Michigan?
A third down. I'm talking third down back, a receiving back.
Just get the ball to him.
I mean, he's a receiver. So when he on a passing down, he's in.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, Emmett's going to be in too on those, but he can help in those plays.
Yeah, I got you. I hear you.
I mean, you can bring 2 running backs in with Dylan, 1 on each hip pocket. I mean,
as long as we're talking about this right now with 4, Connor Booth's got to be ready. He's got to be ready.
Yeah, he was definitely the 4th guy. I want to hit on quarterbacks, because obviously Dylan looked like what we thought. I mean, what you'd expect, poised, cool, veteran. I'll tell you that number 2 battle, I think we assumed it's Gramstad, and it still is the number 2 job. But I will say TJ Lateef, for where he's at and his age, looked really impressive, both physically and just the poise he had in the pocket. I liked what I saw from TJ.
His temperament's really good. Yeah. Now, he's going to close the gap, I would think, on Gramstad. The question becomes, can you make up ground once the season starts?
We're on the same page, though, that he'd be ahead of Davila if you were ranking.
We're on
that.
the head.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
And then that was it, really. They had Luke Longville was there. Bodie Sukup's out, but Longville's the 5th. But yeah, I think Gramstad, you're 2 with Lateef coming.
I think now the only I always go back to what coaches say. Holgerson said Lateef and Davila have a ways to go just because they're so new. He says there's a long ways to go there. When I agree with you on Lateef pushing Gramstad, but not right now. I mean, I don't know that he can make up enough ground right now. It's going to have to be something that goes into the fall.
He can't handle the full buffet yet. I mean, they can only give him sections of it, and they have to really bring him along. But I like where he's at this early.
Gramstad is a 6th-year player.
23 going on 24.
Yeah, has a big advantage because as Holgerson has pointed out, you can give him the full, as you just pointed out, you can give him the full menu. He gets it. That's valuable. But I'll tell you this, if Dylan went down, God forbid, you'd really have to change the way you call the game. It's not going to be the same. You can't convince me of that.
The one thing Gramstad, you didn't really ever see him unleash the big throw.
Right.
Like the throw over the top, down the field. Like
short, controlled passing game.
Yeah, he's more underneath, which defenses will adjust that. So that's the thing. Dylan gives you so much with his ability to throw over you.
Dylan does that. I think there was only one time, you correct me if I'm wrong, I only saw Dylan take off one time running, but the time he took off, it looked good. That lean frame is going to serve him well. It's going to serve him well, Sean. He's leaned up. He looked really good when he took off.
All right, let's get on to headline 2. Before we do that, we're brought to you by Crani-Yum Energy Drink. Is that your drinking sip?
This.
Well,
and man, this stuff
the blue
puts
flavor.
A charge in you.
You're ready.
Yeah, I am. It puts a charge in you.
We just got a re-up of Crani-Yum, as you've noticed. Good. But you're not familiar. It's an energy drink founded by 2 lifelong Nebraskans and Husker fans. They're based out of Fremont. And when people buy an energy drink, they want caffeine. They're also looking for a boost of energy, both physically and mentally. But caffeine alone will not give you that boost that you're looking for. That's why Crani-Yum was formulated with highly dosed nootropics that help improve mental clarity and focus, paired with just 150 milligrams of all naturally sourced caffeine to give you the benefits you actually want. We've got 4 flavors now at Crani-Yum. It's sugar-free, as I mentioned, all natural flavors, no artificial colors, making it a healthier alternative to most other options on the market. You can find it at Hy-Vee, other places around the state. If you're not from Nebraska, though, you can order it at their website. Just go to drinkcrani-yum.com. That's Crani-Yum with a Y after the I. Use the promo code HuskerOnline. They're going to give you 10% off that order of Crani-Yum. Again, drinkcrani-yum.com. Use the promo code HuskerOnline. You're going to get 10% off that order. I'll tell you, you will feel like Steve Sipple if you drink one of those.
I'm telling you, we should both drink them before the show and during the show.
You can tell there had been a couple days this summer where I was dragging.
I noticed.
And you put one of those down and
yeah,
all of a sudden I'm at Steve Sipple level.
Did you have some today?
No, I'm drinking a coffee right now.
Yeah. Oh, what is that?
An espresso.
Yeah.
We're fancy up here.
I went away from the espresso for some reason. I was kind of feeling guilty about using all those cartridges. Espresso cartridges?
Yeah. Pods.
Well,
let's move it into headline number 2 on the defense style from Saturday night. I think we're both on the same page here. Vincent Shavers looks like he's prepared for a breakout season, and it's interesting because that inside linebacker room has Marquise Watson-Trent. It has Javin Wright, but it has Vincent Shavers. It has Dawson Merritt on the come. It has Gage Stenger and
Jacob Bauer.
You go down the line, there's a lot of players there. But Vincent Shavers, when you just watch Saturday night's practice from the naked eye, he flashed to me as much as any defensive player in just the different ways John Butler was using him.
Yeah, he's really enticing to me as a blitzer coming off the edge. He took on Pritchett one time, and Pritchett got a face full of Shavers. Shavers has put his body in. He just looks like he's ready to explode. But God, I mean, as Robin pointed out, the starting linebackers with the ones, the linebackers that started out with the ones were Marquise Watson, Trent, Javin Wright, and Dasan McCullough. So we're talking about a rotation, I suppose. They have a good issue there. They have to find time for all these guys. You have and Rule referred to it on Saturday before in his little press conference before the practice. At Jack, you have McCullough, McGahee, and Ochoa. Well, you can't just not play two guys, right? You got to find ways to get them on the field. You can't just say, well, our Jack is McCullough. The other guys will just have to wait. No, as he noted, McGahee, when you have him on the field, just makes plays.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if you saw Wright, McCullough, and McGahee out there together. I mean, all those guys, all the pass rusher guys, Vincent Shavers. I mean, you could see three of those guys together.
Yeah, four. Could you see four?
Possibly. I mean, I think depending on the situation. But yeah, I really thought when you look at guys that could impact games, Vincent Shavers looked like that kind of player to
like
me.
The first half of the Pinstripe Bowl. I'd say some of the second
has a little DeMario Williams in him.
He does.
Played linebacker, but could play bigger off the edge, and he really was.
Yeah. Butler, remember Butler in the spring said, we're a good blitzing team and we're a good man-to-man team. The blitzing, see, I don't know, you diagnose this stuff a little better than I do the pure football stuff. Who do you think of when you think of the blitzers besides Shavers? McCullough, right?
I would think Watson Trent to an extent.
Okay.
He's a blitzer. But
Javin?
Dasan McCullough, McGahee, Wright.
See, they got a bunch of guys. That's the point. They got guys that can get it done. Would you bring Singleton sometimes? Probably.
He's going to play closer to the line of scrimmage, it appears, more in what the role that Isaac Gifford was playing last year.
You know, you can bring that corner sometimes, right? I don't know what Andrew Marshall looks in that situation. I've seen Sierra Wright, though, and that looks pretty good. Strong blitzing team, strong man-to-man team. I don't know what that means exactly, like how you're scheming, but the only danger in that conversation is you'd like to be a team that gets to the quarterback without blitzing.
I just like the idea of John Butler and Phil Snow just kind of coming together and coming up with some different exotic looks with their backgrounds. I mean, these are two, high-level former defensive coordinators. I mean, Snow was an NFL D coordinator, and Butler had been a longtime NFL coach, before that a college coordinator. I just think with what they know, they're going to be able to draw up a lot of good packages.
They will. And that's exciting. The unexciting part of the conversation is never exciting, but it's so important, is all that is nice and fancy, but you got to just be able to hold up front.
Stop the run. And that Cincinnati in 24 days, they're going to go out the teeth of Nebraska, and they're going to see what it looks like without Ty and Nash and Jamari up there.
Well, it's Scott Satterfield's MO. That's how he does it. I think we're right on that. I think they'll really try to test Nebraska on the ground. They have Tawee Walker now. Cincinnati, Tawee Walker's at his fourth school. Remember, he played at Wisconsin. He got some things done against Nebraska. He ran for 55.
He wore number 1, didn't he?
What?
When he was at Wisconsin, he wore number 1.
I don't know what he wore, Sean, but he ran for 55 yards here last year, averaged 3 point something a carry, if I remember right. He's the guy. They have another guy, but I think it might be Walker that you see most. We'll see on that, but yeah, you're right. They're going to test him. I feel like that's what I'm going to be writing about Thursday night on August 28th is how did they hold up against
and then the quarterback for Cincinnati has mobility.
Yeah, he can run it.
So you're not just going to be able to get to him in the pocket as easily as you want.
Bonus for our listeners. My early score prediction is 37-27 Nebraska.
So you just gave it out now?
It's a random bonus for it.
Let's just 24 days ahead of the game.
No,
let's give out the
why.
prediction. Let's just do it. Okay.
Well, I said early, and the reason I did is because I happened to study Cincinnati Thursday night. Okay. And then I saw Nebraska scrimmage, and I was like, this looks like a 37-27 game. Now, I don't know how people will react to Nebraska giving up 27 if they do, but that's what it looks like to me. I think Nebraska will. I think the defense will get better and better as the season goes.
A lot of the score too. How will the game flow be in terms of possessions and time of possession? And,
yeah, you don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, 37 is a lot of points.
27 is a lot of points. Yeah,
but that you're assuming there's going to be a lot more possessions than 8 or 9 possessions.
I think Nebraska could light them up a little bit.
I don't see Nebraska's offense getting slowed down.
Really? By Cincinnati?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to do. I mean, unless the O-line's not going to be a problem though.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So yeah, I'm excited after what we got to see. Before we take it into headline 3, HuskerOnline headlines brought to you by Billings Group. They're a trio of financial advisors made up of Lance, his 2 sons-in-law, Josh and Nate. They're based in Salina, and they help clients across the Midwest and beyond make smart, confident decisions about their money. From your first real paycheck to your final retirement party, Billings Group is here to walk you through the highs and the lows. Billings Group, financial advisors by your side for life's journey. Visit them at billingsgroup.com. Securities offered by registered representatives through Client Private Services, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives through RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor. RFG Advisory, Billings Group, and private client services are unaffiliated entities.
Oh, you're rolling right now. You're like Baker Mayfield.
Well, and I had been botching that FINRA, or I'd said FIRNA, and it's FINRA.
Yeah, that helps.
My friend Tom, who's a financial advisor, coached me up on that one.
Yeah, you've been coached up. You're rolling now.
All right. Well, let's take it into number 3. The Place Kickers Night of Perfection encourages fans. Archie Wilson also looked the part. How about special teams? Did they kick about 8 or 9 live rush field goals?
So, yeah, I'm going to say it was late in the practice. Yeah, it was late in the practice on Saturday night. And he just went to just a pure live field goal situation. And you know what, Sean? If I'm a fan, I'd argue that might have been the highlight of the night. They were ripping. Between I think they got to 46 yards.
Yeah, 35 to 46 range.
Yeah.
Like, realistic game attempts.
Yeah, and there were no misses. There were no misses.
By any of them. And what was notable to me, though, was it really did appear to be a Kyle Cunanan, John Hall preference. Those guys got all but one kick. Tristan Alvano got 1 attempt. And
again, they all made them. Cunanan, I thought, this is just amateur hour, okay? Apologies to Matt Rule and Mike Eckler. Cunanan looked to have a stronger leg than Hull.
I thought you could just see and hear the boom on his ball better.
Kyle Cunanan?
Yes. How the ball was, the strike on the ball. You could see, and they both did what they were supposed to do. They both made the kicks.
They did.
But when there's wind involved, that's why they brought him in. They want a guy that's a hard striker that can cut through winds that you're going to see in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it is dangerous when me and you go down these avenues, but you want a guy who hits the ball consistently. See, right now people are going, well, thanks, Sip. But it's more important in a place like Memorial Stadium because the wind swirls.
A hard strike cuts the wind.
Yeah, so you want a consistent striker, and that's what Cunanan is. So, yeah. Now, think about Mike Eckler, how important that little 7-minute, 10-minute period was to him. Here comes Mike Eckler back home. Parents, he's from, I think, Blair, right? Parents live in Fremont. This job is immensely important to Mike. And here's his kickers out here. What if a couple balls are sprayed You know, people are going to be let down. There's going to be a here we go again. You know, there's going to be that, but they didn't. They didn't. They nailed them.
And there was a rush.
Yeah, and Cunanan hit a 43-yarder that would have went through at 55. I mean, I would say it was a really impressive display. And then we saw some punting.
Well, Kevin Galick
sorry.
Snapping was good. And then
I think it was good.
Your holders were Camden Cook and then Jalen Gramstad.
Yeah, I think Cook got most of the snaps, Camden.
And that will be something to evaluate as far as travel rosters go. Because when you're limited to 74, how many people can you take there? You know, Cunanan's going to travel. You know, Hull's going to travel. You know, Galick's going to travel. So
I don't know how you do that.
So then at that point, would you want Gramstad to be your holder just to not have that travel spot goes? Because Cunanan can also punt, right?
Yes, he can. The way I understand it, Cunanan would be maybe the backup punter.
So at that point, can you afford a 74-man travel spot to Cook?
Where you just take a holder and that's it. He's just a holder. I don't know. Those are questions that will be
ironed out.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
But
there's a lot that goes into that discussion.
Archie Wilson.
Wow.
And our first look at him, and you hear stories about him just walking around, bouncing the ball off his foot. Kind of like, remember those Tiger Woods golf commercials where he would just take the golf club and bounce the ball up the club? That's Archie Wilson walking around with a football.
Yep. The most okay. I mean, as expected, he can roll right and hit it off his right leg, roll left, hit it off his left. The most impressive punt I saw was he rolled left and hit it across field to the right corner. You see what I'm saying? Rolled to his left, hit it across, hit a cross shot and buried it at like the 9.
And that's what he was supposed to do, I would assume.
Yeah. But God, to have a punter that can roll left and hit it right.
Yeah, he immediately looked a lot different than Daniel Cherney, Nebraska's last Australian punter.
It was an impressive display. I mean, and I saw just that open practice we saw on, I don't know, was that Monday? It was Monday. I mean, he just hit a 50-yarder pretty effortlessly. He's got pop. He's the real deal.
And then the way he he does kind of those drop punts almost where he has the ball and he drops it. Then it's a different way of punting, the way it comes off his foot.
I know this. I just know this.
They're better right now.
It looked good. And I also know that those coaches are very confident in Archie Wilson, that he immediately went in there in June and impressed everybody. And then you saw it, and it kind of made sense when you saw it, right? You're like, okay, that looks good.
There weren't any jitters.
Doesn't look.
I mean, you'd think, okay, a guy making his first appearance publicly in front of some fans, there'd be a little. No, there were no jitters.
No. Now Arrowhead will be a different world, though, right?
Oh yeah.
There's 2,500 people there the other night at that practice. There'll be, I don't know, how much what's Arrowhead hold Chiefs fans?
76, maybe.
Do the Chiefs ever draw that?
Come on.
Just look at my shirt.
Your Raiders shirt. You wore a Raiders shirt to the practice on Saturday night too.
Same shirt. You
got stopped. Simple forgot his press pass. You got stopped by like 3 or 4 personnel people.
I got stopped by one. And
one
overzealous personnel.
He didn't know who you were clearly, and
I thought he stopped you too.
I had my pass on, brother. It is confusing to sip though. We get these passes in the spring, and you're supposed to hold on to them for the whole year.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, it says 2025 season on it.
Oh, yeah.
And Simple's pass is somewhere in a dumpster in Lake Manawa.
Probably. Now that you mention it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go to headline number 4.
Maybe it's in Manawa Lake.
It's in the bottom of the lake. HuskerOnline headlines brought to you by Ridge. If you're not familiar with Ridge wallets, just phenomenal products across the board. And not only do they have great, they make Husker. You can get a Husker Ridge wallet, keychains. But what these wallets do is they help you save a ton of space in your day-to-day life. They come in kind of a credit card size, and you could fit up to 12 cards in there, along with a cash strap as well. to have your cash. And I had one of those, went on vacation, and it just made everything so much easier just to manage, all your cards in your front pocket. But they also have a traditional wallet too. If you don't want the credit card size wallet, they have more of a slim down traditional wallet, a leather wallet. Tons of great products, and you can get them in your favorite team now, including Nebraska, the Raiders, the Chiefs. They have it all, and perfect gift to get that loved one in your life for a birthday or a Christmas present or whatever you have coming around the corner. We have a discount of 10%. If you just go to ridge.com/Husker, again, that's ridge.com/Husker, and you will receive a 10% discount off that order of Ridge. Thanks to Ridge for sponsoring us here on Husker Online Headlines. Okay, let's take it to headline 4. It's Monday.
Oh, geez.
That means Mayhem Monday. And I took suggestions from people in Kearney. I had 4 or 5 people give me suggestions for Mayhem Monday. And we came down to this one. Mayhem Monday. Let's go 2010 Nebraska at Texas A&M. And the stakes were high in this game. And let me tell you, Nebraska was a team that was ranked 8th going into it. They were 9-2.
They were 9-1.
Or 9-1, excuse me, 9-1. They lost the game. They would go 9-2. But a win in this game would have really put Nebraska in a position to get a BCS at-large bid. And why was that important in Nebraska's final year of the Big 12 Conference? A BCS at-large bid would have been a deduction off what Nebraska owed the Big 12.
Oh.
Kind of a coupon.
Ooh.
And so there's some money involved by losing.
And then what happened?
So Nebraska goes out to A&M and loses this game 9-6. But there are about 3 or 4 mayhem moments that happen in this game. First and foremost, the discrepancy with the penalties.
The discrepancy in the penalties. How about 16 for Nebraska and 2 and 2?
16 for 145, and A&M had 2 for 10 yards.
Including on Nebraska's side was a Courtney Osborne roughing the passer. They hit Tannehill. Critical moment in the second half.
They called it a targeting hit on a sack. On a sack.
What a joke. I mean, what a joke that was. 16-2 is inexplicable. It's Sean, that's what that is. You can't tell me that Nebraska was that penalty prone and that A&M was that pristine. Something was not right.
Well, the Big 12 didn't want Nebraska to save money leaving the Big 10.
You think no, that's a
well, because remember what bowl game they got sent to instead. They got sent to play a rematch against Washington in the Holiday Bowl.
Jeez.
The last thing the Big 12 wanted was to save Nebraska money, to go to the Big 10, and then go to a better bowl game to get hyped up as a new member of the Big 10. Instead, what do? They give them a rematch game with Washington. They played Washington 3 times in 12 months.
I hate to say this too, but I don't mind saying it because it's the dead truth. Bo was uninterested in that game, the Washington game.
No.
Oh, no, he was uninterested. I can tell you that.
Well, because originally they were going to play Iowa and Arizona. That's what everybody thought made the most sense. And then the Big 12's like, Dan Beebe's like, no, we're not going to send Nebraska to play another Big 10 team and make this a Big 10 commercial.
Mayhem. This is Mayhem Monday. I was telling you before the show, we could do an entire show on this game.
So you had the incident with Taylor Martinez.
Okay, then so Taylor, he's got an ankle issue.
And he got stepped on by, was it Mike Caputo?
Caputo got mauled at the line of scrimmage. His helmet goes flying, Caputo, and he steps on Taylor. Taylor goes into the locker room, and his dad calls. He misses the call. Then his dad leaves a message, and he calls him back. That's like you don't, no.
Well, because there's gambling and other implications of a player in a game calling somebody.
It's just, you just don't do it.
I get it though. As a parent, if you're not in College Station, you want to make sure your son's okay, right? I mean,
yes.
I mean, I don't think there was harm meant to be done there by checking on your son, but
no harm. But Taylor's got to know. Listen to us, sort of reconstructing it. But no, that was then Bo lost his mind, right?
So the butt chewing on the sidelines had to do with Bo being upset that Taylor phoned his father from the locker room.
That's right. Right. Casey Martinez wrote an email to ESPN.com and said, I thought that Taylor thought he was done for the game. And Casey thought he broke his leg based on the replay that he saw. So I get that.
I don't have any problem with him calling in that situation. If you're not in Texas and your son might have broke his leg, I mean, you'd kind of want to know your kid's okay, right?
Jeremiah Searles, in an article in The Athletic about this, was not as sympathetic to Taylor. He said, dude, he was quoted in this article, dude, he called his dad. What? It's just one of those things where there's a time and place for it. I love Taylor to death, but that was not the time nor the place to call your dad. So you can see both sides.
Well, then it was a real circle the wagons game in College Station because for Mike Sherman, he needed this win. They got to the Cotton Bowl that year. Their quarterback was the former receiver,
Ryan Tannehill,
and they moved him to quarterback. Yeah. Zach Taylor was on that A&M staff as a GA
for his father-in-law.
And so they made that transition with Tannehill from receiver to quarterback. And at that point, you're like, God, Nebraska's getting beat by a receiver, but not knowing he'd become a first-round pick.
No, I don't know. It was just wild. And Nebraska had the better team, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you're talking about, I'm just going to go, just think about the levels. You had Ama Kamara still on that team. You had Haig. You had Gomes.
Dennard,
you had Crick.
Haig, Gomes, Dennard, Prince.
Yeah. I mean, that
had Levante David.
I left out Levante David.
You had Will Compton.
Yeah. I mean, and then on offense, you had Halou and Burkhead on the same team.
With Searles and Long. Spencer Long, I believe, was healthy that season.
Niles Paul.
Yeah. And then Taylor, when he was healthy, was great.
Yeah. Nebraska was loaded.
But yeah, that loss cost Nebraska millions of dollars off their bill to pay the Big 12.
And then Mayhem Monday.
The post-game scene.
Oh yeah, that too. Go ahead.
What was the post-game scene? You know, first of all, they brought an extra 5,000 or 10,000 fans around the field. So
A&M did.
A&M, it was, they packed it in as much as you're going to pack it in at that place.
Had students on the field.
And it was one of the loudest venues I've been to. Mm-hmm. So when they beat Nebraska, which off that field goal made it 9-6, and the only reason they got that field goal was the controversial targeting penalty on Courtney Osborne.
Yep.
Nebraska stopped A&M. They were going to have to punt.
Yep. It was 3rd and 11.
And they were going to get the ball with a chance to possibly win the game.
3rd and 11.
Instead, A&M got a penalty, which gave them the game-winning field goal.
Just a horrible call, too.
It was a sack, and they called a targeting on a sack.
Yeah. And then, Bo was losing his mind. And then on Sunday night, of course, the mayhem continues when Harvey Perlman tells an AP reporter or somebody that he said that Bo's verbal assault on the officials during that game did not reflect well on the university or the football program, said it was very unfortunate, and it's something we'll have to address with Bo. So now the chancellor does not have the head coach's back. He chooses to go the other direction. Bo, of course, I mean, he and Harvey don't have a relationship at all. And
Osborne was still there, obviously.
Yeah, Osborne was still there.
But Osborne got Nebraska in the Big Ten at that point with Harvey. And at that point, in my opinion, Harvey was done to Tom. He got him what he wanted.
Well, good point.
He got him what he got him what he wanted.
Right.
Okay, I'm making my move now. We're not bringing this guy in the Big Ten. And
it's a great point, Sean.
Perlman missed that phone call from the Associated Press. Eric Olson, who the reporter told me this story years ago, and he called Olson back. Like, he wanted those comments on the record. Like, it
was huge.
Like, that was the kiss of death to Bo.
It was a signal.
That was it. When Perlman worked around Osborne, called the AP to a reporter that he knew would
sympathetic ear.
put it in writing nationally. He did, and that was it for Bo. You know, he lasted obviously a couple more years after.
Yeah, no, you're right though. That was it. I mean, Bo knew that. I mean, he knew. You know, he was already fairly paranoid. Then it escalated because he knew he didn't have his bosses. The bosses didn't have him, and then they moved on from Osborne, and Perlman told Bo. Oh, we're getting off the beaten path a little bit here, real quick. Just one paragraph. Perlman told Bo, "You'll be involved in the AD search." They hired Eichhorst without ever talking to Bo. Bo called me and said they told me they
hired Eichhorst without talking to Osborne.
Yeah, and he said that. So he goes, "Come on, we know what's going on here." He knew what was going on. They're trying to get him, and he told his guys, you know, his coaches, "We got to win 10, boys. I mean, because if we don't win 10, we're going to get run out of here."
Well, and you're forgetting another mayhem moment at that game at A&M.
What's that?
So during the post
Ben
game,
Cotton.
No, well, during the
Ben Cotton got his.
This one's the post game celebration on the field.
Oh yeah,
there was a photographer from Texags, which is like the prominent major outlet, and he was just taking pictures of the scene on the field. And Carl Pelini takes the guy's camera and just snatches the guy's camera and slams the guy's camera on the ground and denies it. Well, then there was one of those kind of like sky cam views.
Saw it.
And they were able to like slow it down. It was like showing him like like you could see Carl like ripping this guy's camera. And if I remember right, one of your former reporters reached out to the writer of that, and that upset Carl.
I can't remember who that was. You're right though, and that was mayhem. That was total mayhem. I remember when we got wind of it. It was after the game, and I think we were driving back to the hotel. It was just sort of one of those games where it was like one thing after another. Like, oh, by the way, Carl Pelini slammed a photographer's camera.
Twitter was newer back then too. It was like like social media apps like Twitter.
Yeah,
were like in their like first or second year. So like things like that got out, but not like it is now.
No, what if he would have done that now? What would that have been?
TikTok videos.
It would have been very prominent. Very prominent.
I mean, might have lost his job.
Right.
It was
so, and then on Sunday, the Perlman thing. So total mayhem, total discomfort.
So then Ben Cotton, you were going back to that incident.
Oh, Ben Cotton.
Where he was penalized. So
go back to the game.
Ben Cotton was on the ground and a Texas A&M player,
D lineman
was grabbing him and punching him between his legs.
Right. Good way to say it.
And Ben was kicking his leg in pain because he had somebody literally grabbing him and punching him between his legs.
Yeah. He thought, this is graphic, but get ready. He thought he was bit. He thought he got bit. He thought there was a bite. He said that's what he said. The Cotton said he felt a sharp pain between his legs. I thought I was getting bit, he said to The Athletic. He screamed at Scott Campbell, who was the umpire, who was trying to unstack the pile. And then it just boiled over. He couldn't take the pain, so he started kicking. He got flagged for kicking Campbell accidentally, and then he pled his case, removed his helmet, and got a second flag, and it was 3rd and 44 at that point.
30 yards and penalties.
3rd and 44.
Keep in mind, A&M had 10 yards the whole game.
I remember 3rd and 44, and it was, I mean, think about it. It's crazy.
The Big 12 lost a lot of credibility that night. The way they did.
I think so.
I mean, that league, everyone's out of that league that was worth the darn.
I mean, and then the other thing is, so it created quite a discussion in that regard, but it also, the fan base became, once you say it became kind of divided. Like there were people that supported Bo and said, hey, how about the chancellor having his back? And then there are other people saying you can't have Bo acting like that on national TV. It was Musburger and Herb Street. It's Bo poking Taylor on the sideline in the chest. It's just a lot going on. It's total mayhem. I'm surprised we didn't do this earlier in the summer.
Well, and then the post game, so Bo would always want to do his coach's show on the road, like right after the game ended. He didn't like to get back and get showered up and cleaned up. He did it on the field. Well,
oh, you mean the
coach's TV show?
The TV show, yeah.
And they were still celebrating on the field, and they were airing the Mike Sherman press conference in the stadium. And so Bo was not able to do his press conference on the field. So they ended up doing it in the locker room where we were at. And they didn't make anybody available to talk after that game. It was just Bo. And Bo talked for like 5 minutes.
Mayhem.
Yeah, that was a really good.
That's about as much, Sean. There was a lot of mayhem during the Pelini years. There was. That was the most mayhem besides the Big 12 title game when the second went back on. I don't know which one you'd pick. It's close.
I would say this one's more because of just all the things that we covered. Even, I mean, you got the Ben Cotton side story. You got the Carl Pelini taking a guy's camera and slamming it on the ground.
Courtney Osborne was kind of a side story. Courtney Osborne didn't do a lot at Nebraska. That would have been, think about that if he doesn't get that flag. That's the biggest play of his career.
Yeah, and if they win that game, they're going to like the Sugar Bowl or the Fiesta Bowl. And instead, they're having to play a rematch game in the Holiday Bowl for the second year in a row.
Don't you have some sympathy for Bo?
I do, because
he knows all that.
That team deserved a lot better than what they got.
They're 9-1 at that point, Sean. They're 9-1, about to go 10-1.
And their only loss was to Texas.
And Bo's a smart guy. And he probably recognized early in that game, oh, we're going to get screwed here. We're going to get screwed. You know, I bet he recognized it early.
The fact
he's smart.
Their
he's
offense only put up 6 points. I mean, that was the other, but it's hard to score when you're penalized 16 times.
And Taylor, Taylor was hurting. Cody Green. Could Cody Green go win that game?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a night to remember.
That was good mayhem, Sean.
All right, let's close it out. Odds and ends. Before we go to that, again, we're brought to you by Husker Night at the K. August 29th, Nebraska will play the Kansas City Royals. I just spoke with the Royals this morning, and they have more tickets on our link listed. Over the weekend, they actually ran out. They ran out of the windbreakers. So they have rush ordered more windbreakers, and that's something that you can opt into if you want to get the high quality windbreaker. It comes in sizes medium or extra large. When you arrive at the stadium, it's first come, first serve. But if you get a ticket, you're guaranteed to get one. The sizing is first come, first serve. But we've got discounts on both tickets and parking. In our show description page, we've sold a lot of tickets. They've got more windbreakers. That's the special prize they're going to give out to Nebraska fans at Husker Night at the K.
That sounds fun. You'll be there for sure. You know me well enough. I probably won't be there, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I just wonder. I'm not even going to say it, Alex. They had bobble night for the AAA team last night, Sunday night. It was Alex Gordon bobble night, and he wasn't there. He had a celebrity golf tournament. I always bring up Alex Gordon. Why?
Because he's a former Husker.
No, because he's one of my top 5 all-time.
You know, he's eligible to be on the Hall of Fame ballot this year.
He's one of my top 5 any sport former Huskers. Watching him play third base and rake was memorable.
Well, then transition to a Golden Glove outfielder.
Yeah.
Golden.
You know, when he played for the Royals as a rookie, I would seldom miss an at-bat when he was on TV. I'd see every at-bat. So
Husker Night at the K should be a good one. The night after, hopefully the Huskers get a win on Thursday, and we fill that place up with Nebraska fans on Friday night.
Hello.
All right, odds and ends. Beer at the stadium on Saturday, and I tweeted this: runs a meet your new friend Mick Ultra. You can do a combo meal. They had a combo meal going that included a Runza and a Mick Ultra for $19.
Okay.
Or you could get a soda for $11. But yeah, the new Aramark menu was out kind of in a more limited fashion. They had a 2 hot dog combo meal with a beer. I don't know why you need 2. Isn't 1 hot dog enough?
I don't know. The last time we did it, when we were walking out that June camp and that lady was handing out free hot dogs.
You had 2?
Yeah. Yeah, 2 was perfect.
But we had, I think it was just more seeing that a Runza with a beer and a Pepsi on a billboard is like, wow, this is happening.
Kind of cool. Yeah.
And I haven't confirmed this officially, but I do think our sponsor Zipline, they'll be in the stadium as my guess. A couple of their beers, and you have some other offerings. I didn't see anything other than the Bud Light and the Mick Ultras.
Yeah.
On Saturday night.
Yeah.
But I do think you're going to get more of an offering for that opening game, and they've got time still. I mean, September 6th for the Akron game is still a good month away.
As far as the crowd goes for Saturday night's open practice, 2,500 was the estimate. Some people I know that thought that was a little low, that maybe there's more people than that. It's a pretty good crowd. Yeah. Great night.
And again, I do think it's a Saturday night. A lot of people use this time of year to go on a vacation, because if your kid plays baseball or summer basketball, other activities, they finally get done. And this is kind of like that one window where a lot of people do get away to their cabins or a family trip somewhere. But the fan day was well attended.
Yeah.
And, I thought the practice for those that went, you're going to get more out of that than going to a spring game now.
I think so. There's a lot of moments. I thought if I was a head coach and I was trying to devise ways to create excitement, I would do a lot of that drill where they were running a receiver in one-on-one coverage against a DB, and various routes, right? It wasn't all deep routes. But that's a good fan drill, because you get to size up receiver versus defensive back. Who can win?
Yeah, one-on-one.
Yeah, is great. That's fun to watch.
So you got to see a lot of that going on, and some good matchups. And, I thought the 7-on-7 and the team periods too. I mean, we'll never see those again all year.
I regard that with a bit of sadness.
All right. How about this odds and ends? Nebraska bowling is now a member of the Conference USA.
Shout out to Paul Klempa. Paul Klempa is a great bowling coach and a huge fan of the band Boston. So yeah, what's that? What's the meaning there?
Well,
you're the AD here.
I just think it allows them to have more opponents, and not every Big Ten team clearly has a bowling team.
Stability of schedule.
Yeah, it just gives them. I think bowling is a pretty limited sport. Not every team has bowling. Not every school offers bowling. So for Nebraska, I think this is a great opportunity for them. To be in a league with more opponents. As far as and look, it's bowling. I'm sure a lot goes into when you make a decision like this, but I'm sure financially it makes sense to lock into a league.
Yeah. So people understand, we just got this news right before we went on air, right before we began the show. So neither of us has had a chance to delve into it, but I know this: the Nebraska bowling team is a national program that's often in that national title hunt. Klempa does an incredibly good job with those young women. And I assume this is great news for
and very few Power Fours carry bowling. I mean, the Conference USA is Delaware, FIU, Jacksonville State, Kennesaw State, Liberty, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee State, Missouri State, New Mexico State, Sam Houston, UTEP, and Western Kentucky.
Okay.
So again, I think Nebraska is one of the few big time Power Four schools that takes bowling at a higher level, that cares about the sport.
Yeah, I don't know that, but I know this: Nebraska has a strong bowling tradition going back to Bill Straub. Going back, Sean, I can speak with some authority about this. When I wrote that bowling column for the Journal-Star in the late 80s, the Nebraska bowling team was super strong. Now they had a men's program, but did you know that?
At one point, they did really.
They had a men's program and a women's program. There's a power. There's a power in the late 80s.
There are only 5 Big Ten teams that have women's bowling.
Okay.
Nebraska. Then you have Maryland, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Conference USA. I like it.
We'll have to go cover Conference USA Media Days.
Okay, what else on odds and ends?
All right, odds and ends. What else we got here? So week 2 begins
camp
here today on Monday. And, look, this is kind of the grind, as Matt Rule said. The players moved out of the dorms on Sunday, but you have really 2 more hardcore weeks at camp, week 2 and week 3. before they kind of cycle into that Cincinnati prep.
Right. So week 2, you characterize it the way Matt did, as a grind. He regards week 3 as a separator week. Like hey, Sean, who's got the mental toughness to push through that week 3? When you're looking at position battles, that's probably where some guys separate. Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Well, and you're going to get a scrimmage this week.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated when Matt Rule said you're only allowed to have 9 full padded practices throughout your fall camp.
Throughout fall camp. So 9. And that means, what that means is, he says, you see a lot of football games in the early part of the season that are kind of sloppy. He said that's a lot of the reason. How many full padded practices did we see in 2001?
Well, they go 2-a-days.
I mean, 19. Was it about 19? That's the number I kind of remember.
Yeah,
would there have been that many?
I forget how they've done it. You get this.
I think there were 19.
So you get the same amount of practices that you used to get when there were 2-a-days. So that's why camp is now kind of a week longer than it used to be, because back in the day it was a week shorter, but you had 2 days. And I don't know what coaches would prefer. I think coaches probably like this longer because they get a lot out of those walkthroughs, and
there's a lot of, it's more of a mental grind.
Meetings.
Yeah, a lot of meetings. The players would probably prefer, honestly, Matt talked about it the other night before the scrimmage, that he has a bunch of guys who like to practice, where he'll cut off a practice. Dylan, for instance, will go to him and go, hey, we can keep going. That's a good sign that you have a bunch of guys who want to keep practicing.
Well, who doesn't like, I'd rather practice than sit in meetings.
Oh God, yes. I'd say 95% of the guys would.
I can only imagine you at like a big corporate Journal Star meeting when you're at the.
Oh, it was bad. They would have to, yeah. They'd have to talk me into going, Yeah. It wasn't good. You're right. No, you nailed that one. That was bad.
All right. Well, full week regular show schedule, Wednesday, Friday, later in the week, as we'll continue through August, and game week is when we'll shift to our regular post-game show weeks.
Are we taking suggestions for Flashback Friday?
If you got a great suggestion, drop it in the comments. We love to hear, and we always like Mayhem ones too, because we're running a little. I think we have 2 more Mayhem Mondays left.
Okay.
So
yeah, we'll have a Flashback Friday on Friday. So if you have anything,
and I think we'll pause this during the season because we're going to run out of stuff to talk about. I mean, we've kind of run it pretty good so far, but we'll come up with some more good ideas. But for Steve Sipple, I'm Sean Callahan signing off here for Husker Online Headlines.